So, The Beach Bum is now in theaters and it stars Matthew McConaughey, who plays a drifter stoner named Moondog. And Moondog, he's in and out of a lot of stuff. He does pretty much anything that's on his mind. If even for a split second he thinks about something, he'll do it. And he wants to write the next great American novel, but at the same time, he's facing a lot of family issues as well as in and outs, with rehab. It's a lot that happens in this film, but at the same time, nothing that happens. So, for those who don't know, this is from the same director as Spring Breakers. A very mixed bag of a film, I think, for me personally. That being said, I was excited for The Beach Bum because I like Matthew McConaughey, and even though Spring Breakers was a bit flawed, a little bit too much so in my opinion, it did have ambition, and I was excited to see what the director of The Beach Bum had to offer with this film. So, this film, is it good though? Well, let me get to that in a second. Let me just first say this. The acting is great. Matthew McConaughey is perfect in the role of Moondog. Snoop Dogg shows up. Isla Fisher's in it as, the wife of Matthew McConaughey's character. And, of course, you have Jonah Hill and Zac Efron, and they were both really good in the film. The supporting cast is all top-notch. They're all very entertaining to watch. This film is entertaining. It's a film that if you're going into it expecting laughs, you won't be disappointed. There are a lot of laughs to be had. I had so many laugh out loud moments in this film. I was surprised by that, to be honest. Specifically, there's one scene where Moondog, he takes out this family on a boat, and the things that happen during that scene are hilarious. And I think that's the problem with this film, though. I'll get into it in the negatives, but it's uneven. But that being said, it's still an entertaining film because you have all these funny moments sprinkled in, as well as you have cinematography that is nice, very nice to look at. You have neon lighting, with green hues, and during some scenes, you also have a sound design that is like in and out, much in the same way that the character is. And you have a script where the dialogue is, again, adhering to the actors and the directing, which in turn makes it hilarious. And I think that's important. It's important when you're trying to be a comedy, which this film is, but when you're trying to be a comedy, it's important to try and actually be funny. And I think this film succeeds on that. And in large part, it's, again, because of the acting as well as the dialogue, which the scriptwriters had handed to us. That being said, the script is funny, but does it actually work? Well, it's uneven. That's the problem, I think, because this is a film that its messages are a bit muddled, I think. There's no clear-cut message to actually dissect and break it down, even though I do feel as though that this director wanted there to be a message, or at least something to kind of grasp onto, and I didn't really take any message away, me personally. Now, you as an individual might, find something else, but me personally, I just found it to be a slice of life film where a character is just going about his everyday life and, he faces certain obstacles, but, he still stays the same. And that's fine. I expect that in most art house films. But when a character does all these things and there's like no consequences, when there, obviously would be, like example, no spoilers, but a character, causes a lot of havoc and whatnot, and he kind of gets off really easily. It's just, really? I don't know. There's just a lot of things that it's like a lot of leaps of logic. And I just kind of feel as though it's needed to have that kind of logic in these films because in order to convey a message, you want to have at least some grasp on reality, especially in these kind of films. And there isn't in some cases. Now, again, I understand it's a comedy and sometimes it's not. And I think that's the whole thing. It's grasping with being a comedy, but also grasping with being an independent film. And independent films, they usually have messages that actually, adhere to the audience at hand. So it's a mixed bag, I think, in terms of that. But it's not just that. This film is very uneven. You have all these scenes that are well executed, and then for every well executed scene, you have scenes that aren't well executed and just feel flat. Because every time they try and be dramatic, it falls flat. It's a shame, really. And I also feel a mixed bag about the editing because I appreciate the fact that it's edited the same way as if it was Moondog's perspective, the titular character, because it's so out of focus. The way it's edited some scenes are backwards and then some scenes are forward, and it's a lot to keep up with. And it's like, okay, it's trying to be as if it's from the perspective of the main character, when he's high all the time and everything. And I liked that, but at the same time, I felt like it was a little bit too much towards the end, because it was like, okay, we get it, but at the same time, towards the end, there wasn't as much rhythm as there was in the first half. And I think overall, that's just the kind of problem. It's a very uneven film. It has its moments for sure, but overall, I think it's a film that it's a mixed bag, but at the same time, it was entertaining. It hit its beats with its comedic timing. And that's why, for me personally, Beach Bum, it's more positive slightly than a basic film. And that's why the Beach Bum, for me, will be getting a 3.5 out of 5-star rating. Or, if it was like a hot sauce rating, good old Texas Pete hot sauce rating. It's a solid film if you're going into it from the perspective of a comedy. If you're looking for a film that has messages or meaning behind it, you're probably looking in the wrong direction. Check out The Big Lebowski. Now, that's a film that's a stoner comedy that has a lot underneath the surface. But for Beach Bum, not really. But go into it for the laughs. Guys, that's my review though for The Beach Bum. Let me know your thoughts on this film. Did you like it? Did you not? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And as always, don't forget the subscription, notification bell, and I'll catch you guys later.